I never thought I'd be the girl who hooks up with her boss on Christmas Day. Like ever. I'm the one who color codes her planner, double checks holiday PTO requests, and usually spends December 25th in flannel pajamas arguing with my sister over who gets the last cinnamon roll. Not this, but here I am, December 25th, 2025, 2:17 p.m., straddling my very married to his job, very single, very stupidly hot boss in the executive break room on the 42nd floor while Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You plays ironically soft through the ceiling speakers. Let me back up. The office was supposed to be a ghost town. We're a boutique marketing agency, small, enough that the whole company gets shut down between Christmas and New Year's, big enough that the C-suite still has corner offices, with views of the Hudson that make you feel like you're winning at life. I only came in because I'd left my laptop, charger in my desk drawer, and my ancient MacBook was at 4% when I tried to finish a client deck from my couch. I figured 5 minutes in and out, nobody would be here, except he was. Elliot Vance, 34, dark hair just long enough to look effortlessly expensive, jawline that could cut glass, the kind of boss who says good morning like he's daring you to have a bad day, the kind who remembers you prefer oat milk in your coffee but pretends it's an accident when he brings you one. The kind I've been quietly, professionally, hopelessly thirsty over since my first week 2 years ago. He was sitting at the long glass conference table in the dark, sleeves rolled to his elbows, tie gone, top 2 buttons of his white dress shirt undone, staring at his phone like it personally offended him. The only light came from the ridiculous 8-foot Christmas tree the interns insisted on putting up. White lights, silver ornaments, zero personality. Very on brand for our agency. He looked up when the elevator dinged. Our eyes met. He didn't smile, but he also didn't look away. "You're supposed to be off," he said, voice low, a little rough like he hadn't used it in hours. "So are you." I shot back, trying to sound normal while my pulse decided it was auditioning for a drum solo. "Forgot my charger, you?" He tilted his head toward the window. Flight to Chicago got canceled. Again. So, here I am. Merry fucking Christmas. I snorted before I could stop myself. Poetic. He finally cracked the smallest smile. Barely there, but it hit me like a shot of espresso. "You staying long?" "Just grabbing my shit and leaving." He nodded once, then quieter. "You want a drink first?" I should have said no. I should have said I'm good. Thanks. See you in the new year. Bye. Instead, I heard myself say, "What you got?" He stood up, slow, deliberate, and walked over to the cabinet nobody's supposed to know about. The one with the good bourbon and the bottle of 18-year-old Macallan. Someone's rich client left after the holiday party last year. He poured 2 fingers into a lowball glass, then slid it across the table toward me. Our fingers brushed. 1 second, 2. Neither of us pulled away. I took a sip. It burned in the best way. He watched my throat move when I swallowed. I watched his pupils blow wide. "Better than eggnog," I said, voice huskier than I meant it to be. "Infinitely," he murmured. Silence stretched. Thick. Hot. Dangerous. I set the glass down. "Why aren't you home, Elliot?" He leaned back against the table, arms crossed, looking at me like he was trying to decide whether to lie, because home is quiet and empty. And I didn't want to be alone on Christmas with nothing but my own thoughts and a bottle of wine. I'd probably finish by myself. I swallowed. "And here's better." His eyes flicked to my mouth. "Here has you." My stomach flipped so hard I almost gasped. I'm not brave. I'm really not. But something about the way the Christmas lights reflected in his eyes, the way his voice dropped on the word you, the way the whole city outside the windows was glittering and silent and nobody, literally nobody, was going to walk through that door for the next 10 days. I stepped closer. He didn't move, just watched me like a man who'd been starving and finally saw dinner. I reached up, slow, and tugged the collar of his shirt, pulling him down until our foreheads touched. "You're gonna ruin me," I whispered. His hands found my hips, firm, possessive, like he'd been waiting years for permission. "Only if you let me," he said against my lips. Then he kissed me. And Jesus Christ. It wasn't tentative. It wasn't polite. It was hungry, desperate, like we'd both been holding our breath for 2 years and finally got to exhale, into each other's mouths. I made a sound, half moan, half plea, and he groaned like it physically hurt him. His hands slid under my sweater, warm palms skating up my ribs, thumbs brushing the underside of my bra, and I arched into him so fast. I almost knocked the bourbon over. He lifted me onto the conference table like I weighed nothing. Papers scattered, laptop slid. Neither of us cared. I wrapped my legs around his waist, pulling him flush against me, feeling exactly how much he wanted this, wanted me, and I swear I saw stars behind my eyelids. "Elliot," I breathed when he kissed down my neck, teeth grazing my pulse point. "We shouldn't—" "Tell me to stop," he rasped, voice wrecked. "Say it and I'll stop. I'll walk out right now." I grabbed his face, forced him to look at me. "Don't you fucking dare." He grinned, dark, dangerous, beautiful, and then his mouth was on mine again and we were done pretending. Clothes came off in pieces. My sweater hit the floor. His shirt followed. My bra landed somewhere near the Christmas tree. His belt buckle clinked against the glass tabletop. I was shaking. Part cold, part adrenaline, part pure want, when he pulled back just enough to look at me sprawled across the conference table like some kind of holiday feast. "God damn, Riley," he muttered, almost reverent. "You're so fucking beautiful. I don't know who moved first." "Doesn't matter." All I know is 1 minute we were staring at each other like we might combust, and the next he was inside me. Slow at first, careful, then deeper, harder, until I was clawing at his back and gasping his name like a prayer. The table creaked, the tree lights twinkled. Mariah kept singing about what she wanted for Christmas. And for once in my damn life, I got it. We didn't stop. Not when the conference table groaned under us. Not when my back hit the cold glass and I gasped. Not when Elliot whispered my name like a curse he'd been holding in for too long. He moved like he'd memorized every inch of me. From stolen glances over 2 years of meetings and late night, slack threads, slow rolls of his hips that made my eyes roll back. Then faster, harder, until I was gripping his shoulders so tight I left half-moon marks in his skin. I didn't care. I wanted him marked. I wanted proof tomorrow that this wasn't a dream. I'd wake up from hungover on spiked hot cocoa and regret. "Riley," he growled against my throat, voice shredded. "You feel so fucking good." I answered with my nails down his back and a moan I couldn't swallow. The room smelled like pine from the stupid tree, bourbon from the spilled glass. And us, sweat and sex and something dangerously close to need. He pulled out just long enough to flip me over. My palms slapped the table. His chest pressed to my back. One hand tangled in my hair. The other slid between my thighs. Fingers circling exactly where I was already throbbing. I bucked against him, desperate. "Say it," he demanded, lips brushing my ear. "Tell me you want this." "I want it," I panted. "I want you. All of you. Don't stop." He didn't. He drove back in, deep and deliberate, and I saw white. Every thrust pushed me forward until my breasts pressed flat against the glass. Nipples tight and aching from the cold. His hand stayed between my legs, relentless, matching the rhythm until I was shaking, cursing, begging. I came first, hard, sudden, a full body. Shudder that had me crying out his name loud enough that if anyone had been on the floor below, they'd have heard. He followed seconds later, bearing himself to the hilt, groaning my name like it was the only word he remembered. We stayed locked together, breathing ragged, hearts hammering against each other's skin. Eventually he pulled out, gentle now, and turned me around. He cupped my face, thumbs brushing my cheekbones, and kissed me softer than I expected. Slow, almost tender, like he was trying to say something he didn't trust words with. We didn't speak for a long minute, just stood there in the glow of the Christmas lights, half naked, wrecked, and weirdly calm. He finally broke the silence. "I'm not sorry," I laughed, shaky. "Good, because I'm not either." He grabbed his discarded shirt, draped it over my shoulders like a blanket. It smelled like him. Cedar, clean cotton, a hint of the cologne he wore that always made my knees weak in the elevator. "What now?" I asked, suddenly aware of the real world creeping back in. The empty office, the holiday shutdown, the fact that he's my boss. Elliot looked at me like the answer was obvious. "We clean up." We lock the door behind us. And then he paused, eyes searching mine. "Then we figure it out, together. No hiding. No pretending this was a one-time thing." My chest tightened. "You sure? Because once we leave this room, it's not just a Christmas fling anymore." He stepped closer, brushed a strand of hair off my forehead. "I've spent 2 years pretending I don't want you. I'm done." I swallowed hard. "Okay." He smiled. Real, small, devastating. "Merry Christmas, Riley." I kissed him again, quick and fierce. "Merry fucking Christmas, Elliot." We cleaned up in record time. Scattered papers, bourbon stain on the carpet. We'd deal with that in January. Clothes back on, hair finger combed. He grabbed my hand as we walked to the elevator. I let him. The city outside was quiet. Snow starting to fall again. Fat flakes catching the streetlights. We stepped into the cold together, his arm around my waist, my head on his shoulder. And for the first time since I started this job, I wasn't thinking about deadlines or deliverables or what anyone else would think. I was just thinking about tomorrow, and the day after, and how maybe, just maybe this Christmas gave me exactly what I didn't know I was asking for.